Can you hear me now? Told you, everything that could go pear-shaped with all this stuff is going pear-shaped with it, right? It went pear-shaped in the park. I ain't touched this since Friday. It's gone pear-shaped with this as well. So I'm now hoping it's 5b5 and you can hear me. So I do apologise. I will literally... and start the show again, shall we? Right. Bexhill, which is what I was saying to you. That's the next stand in the park, is Bexhill. Richard has sent me an email, Quentin's friend, and I've got a telephone number there. I haven't rung you yet. I've been really busy running about today. Things better, film music amongst them, and here it goes on there. So all I'm saying to you, it's this Sunday on the 12th. You need to send me the park details. So everyone who wants me to go to a stand in a park, I am going to do one of these, and I'm going to go through the list that now I've got and schedule them all in, right? Because now the holiday's out of the way, I'm going to schedule in every Sunday, and I don't care where it is in the country, right? Every Sunday, I am going to be at a stand in the park talking to people, and you can ask me questions, and we'll get all this kit sorted out so it works properly. We'll have a live side, and we'll have a backup side with another camera, which I've got here. So whatever happens, you'll always get the stand in the park live. Even if it's not live on the Sunday like we had to do yesterday, for some reason it just didn't want to go live, so I recorded it. So I've got the whole recording. I've got to edit it, whack it up, and it'll be on there, and everyone will be able to see it. So that's the answer to it. So I'm hoping now it's all 5b5 and everyone can hear me. I was grateful to everybody who turned up on Sunday. There's some really fantastic, lovely people. You can feel the warmth from people, right? And I'm not just saying that because it was hot. I'm telling you now, the people there, you can feel how lovely they are, right? And I mean that. Everyone there was really fantastic, and I was so pleased that all them people turned out there. And again, a lot of people that have followed me for years. Now, I'm going to ask a question, right? So here's the question. I can picture you, the person who gave me this book, right? Actually, 2 books, right? This particular book, I'm going to show you what it says. A Short Constitutional History of England, right? There's the actual book, yeah, A Short Constitutional History of England, right? So someone come up to me and said, I've got a couple of gifts for you. I just want to say to that person, obviously at the time, I couldn't really read the book. I couldn't, because you're concentrating on doing everything else, or trying to. And again, you can see how old the book is. I mean, that side of the book has had the sun on it a little bit, so you can see it's faded. I can tell you this book is an original. I can tell you it was printed in 1899. And I've got to tell you something. I love books, and I love these old books about the Constitution and about the law of the land. It's got markings in it from April 1903. And again, it goes into the proper history without going into, miles of it. It's literally been written for someone who wants to understand the English Constitution. It's got all of the parts that's necessary for anyone to understand. It goes through everything that I've spoken to you about and more. And I'm going to enjoy going through this book. It's even got cases, the old cases to do with the Constitution, right, and constitutional law. And it's all in this book. These types of educational masterpieces for someone to give me this as a gift. Let me tell you something. I don't think they realise how much I love this book, right? When I got it out and started reading it, it's one of them things where I started reading it and I had to keep putting it down and doing something else, and it was annoying me because I want to sit there and read it and proper read it, right? You can reference everything in it, and I just want to say to that person who come up and give me that book and another one, I am so pleased that you did, because a lot of people would have thrown sacrilege, would have thrown this away, and it would have ended up in a tip somewhere or whatever. This is written by someone with the mindset of someone who loved England and who loved it. And when I say loved in past tense, it's obvious the person is dead. But his love of England and the Constitution is still here with this book. And it's because of this, it inspires me to write a book. Now, there's another lady, I believe her name's Anne, and she comes from the Stand in the Park. Is Anne? No, maybe Sue. Comes from the Stand in the Park with Brett, right? Now, she does a lot of things in the background. It's like anything. She don't ask for no thanks for it. She just does it, and she makes these little things up. Constitution is a solution, stickers, and she does a lot for the cause in the background. And one of the things that she did with the Stand in the Park with Brett in Hertfordshire is she took the recording of what was said and the questions and answers, and she transcribed it all, so people can start to see and read what was said. So just to say, one of the things that I'd like to do, and if Sue's out there, and I know Brett's probably listening, is I can speak into that rather than me, because I'm a slow typer, right? A really slow typer. I can speak the book, and then we can have two versions of it. You can have a written version of a book about the Constitution, and then you can have me speaking the book, like you get an audio of the book. And then people will understand, and then I can tell people the bits of the Constitution that the British have attacked and removed with the distinct strategy to kill off England, right? And that is what these people are doing. That's what the British are doing, right? So just to let that person know, I'll be really grateful so what I can do, because that way I can speak about it, I can make the reference about it. It's almost like doing the show, but so you would have an audible version of it, and then that, and it would then teach people about the Constitution, and it also shows people where the British have attacked and attacked and attacked, and why strategically they had to attack them parts of the Constitution to get where they are now, right? And I think a lot of people would be helped by that, right? And again, when I read books like that and read books like that and are given books like that, it shows you the history and the way that we used to think and know about our Constitution as standard. Them books were, go in any library, you could pick up a book about the English Constitution. Now, there's very, very little, and again, they've took it away from certain other elements. So I just wanted to go through that. So there's two elements to this. One is, before I kick off with the show, the first thing to say to everyone is I'm really grateful for the attendance of everybody that went to the Stand in the Park at Moat Park in Maidstone, right? Again, I'm having a chat, and I was talking to Mick. We were sort of interviewing each other about things, and we had a decent conversation there. And a number of people listened to what we were saying. And what stood out to me was the amount of people that accepted wholeheartedly the concept of the English Constitution Party, right? They didn't refer, and it is not, so that, again, I'm explaining this to people. When you see the full video, you'll understand what was said. People conflate English nationalism with racism, and that is a projection of the British. In other words, the British are the ones. Let me just, I'm going to pause my video because it's distracting me on the side, and hopefully I'll still see. Give me a 5v5 and I'll be able to see all this stuff coming up there. That's it, well done. I'm still seeing that coming up. So there's always good questions, and why I like these live events, right, is you can hone your thinking, and you always get thrown questions that you weren't expecting, and getting fantastic questions. There's one guy there from Dartford. He come out with a fantastic question, and something that we had worked on as a problem, right? And what he said was, what are you going to do about London? It's all right giving the power back to the counties, but what about London? Well, the answer is we're going to deconstruct everything that the European Union has done, and the British have done, and the SNP, in collusion with the British, have done to deconstruct England. And that is, quite simply, that you give the power back to the counties. And by doing that, you are giving the power back to the people. You are decentralising government back to the counties. There will be an English Parliament, but the counties will govern themselves within a framework that the English Parliament allows for constitutionally. Right? Do you understand that? So the Parliament is the constitutional element, and the local councils and their chambers will never be able to go outside of our constitution, and it can never be controlled centrally again in such a way that your rights and our children's rights and the murder of our fellow patriots and children will ever be allowed to happen again in this way. You will completely pull the rug under from the British. Now, what this fella said to me was, how are you going to do that? And I said, you've asked a fantastic question. And the answer to that is, it is simple. You return each part of what they now refer to as Greater London, the boundaries of the counties went right into London, almost to the square mile. And you'd be replacing it with that, but you would have the borough councils again, right? And you'd have elected governments in them boroughs again. It has been a socialist, I wouldn't say an experiment, because they've succeeded with London, and you can now see the state of London. The English Parliament wouldn't exist in London. It would be removed. It would no longer be, you wouldn't revert the UK Parliament, meaning Westminster, back into an English-only Parliament, and then Scotland moves back to Holyrood. That wouldn't happen. And again, someone else has asked me a question even today about, it's a good thing if Scotland gets independence. Not if the SNP are having a deal with the British. Because Scotland intends to try and destroy England. Not the Scottish people. I'm talking about the socialist SNP. They have already prepped Scotland as a region of the European Union. They've removed the 7 constabularies of the Scottish police force. It is now a regionalised police force. Their parliament they currently have is not the Scottish parliament that it had prior to 1706, because it is it being a devolved parliament is limited by the UK Parliament that has, which is the British, and the British still have control of Scotland, and the British still have their British bureaucracy. It is still the British cabal, and it is still the British elites that are running Scotland. That is not what Scottish nationalists, or if you want to call them something else, Scottish constitutionalists, even though they're under Roman law, Scotland has its own constitutional remit. Constitutionally, it is a separate nation to England. It's under Roman law, right? But they are geared and ready to go back into the European Union. What the SLMP will do in any independence, and I believe they're looking at it seriously, and I believe the British will allow it, because the British will conspire with the Scots, or the SNP, right, to continue to regionalise England, to take England as a regionalised area, it won't be called England anymore, back into the European Union. The only way you can stop it, and stop it in its tracks, is to void the Acts of Union. Let Scotland be independent. But it won't be the tail wagging the dog anymore. I've got no issue with the Scots. But all they do with the British is seek the destruction through their socialist entity of destroying England. All right? So we was asked some really good questions. And the questions yesterday, like from that young fella, we've actually devised a plan for that. That we know how we would. In effect, we just need to deconstruct the way England is now regionalised. So I'm just letting you know. Yeah, no, I've put it live. I've put it live because I'm not going to be. There's a few other people talking on here. Let's have a look. I'm getting loads and loads of things coming in here. Right, so let me just... I'm on YouTube. Anybody watching on YouTube, right, I'm going to be switching it off in 5 minutes' time. There is a link on YouTube to this channel to come over and join us at Rumble. I can't say most of what I want to say on YouTube, and you're not getting a proper show. If it's on YouTube, I can't talk to you, and I refuse to be censored. So what I'm saying at the moment, yeah, it is not censorship material. But anyone who's listening to this on YouTube, in 5 minutes I'm switching YouTube off, and then you'll only be able to see this show on Rumble live, right? Come over to Rumble and stop using YouTube. I'm only going to be using it every now and again to tell you to come over to Rumble, right? Right, so again, you've got 5 minutes before I switch off YouTube. So again, grateful that you reminded me we're on YouTube, because I'm not normally. I've only done that so people understand what we're going to be talking about, and it's about the English Constitution Party. We're getting a message out there. People are looking at it, and people were very, very asking some fantastic questions yesterday. So again, what I'm going to say about So Richard, contact me or Quentin, send me an email and make sure the people in the park know I'm coming. And it is a questions and answers session. I'm going to go and pick up off of Brett the banners, etc., and I can go through and talk about them things, and we'll do it that way. So everyone will be aware of what's going on. But just to let everyone know, I will be at Bexhill next Sunday, so the 12th of September. And then anybody who wants me to come to their park, send me the name of the park, the area, and the postcode, so I can schedule you in, right? And that's all I'm going to be doing, is every Sunday, I'm going to give up every weekend until forever, talking in these parks and letting people know there is a solution. I'm fed up with these people that stand there in Trafalgar Square and start giving all this BS and telling people not to vote when not voting is what's part of the problem. I want everyone to understand one thing here, right? If you stand there and say, I don't do politics, I don't vote, the message to you is, politics does you. And I'm going to be blunt, it's going to do you in a very painful way from the rear, because you have stepped back from it and allowed these people to take control of your lives. Don't do it. Anyone who says you don't vote, right? I'm telling everyone out there, you have got a party that you can vote for. If anyone says to me, well, I'm going to spoil my vote because we haven't got a candidate, then you stand as the candidate. That's the whole point. You stand as the candidate. We don't want people with political degrees. We want plumbers, bricklayers, plasterers, nurses, people with intelligence, real teachers. The teachers that know that everything that's going on now is bullshit. You're the people that people want to vote for. You don't need a political degree. What you need is common sense. What you need is to be a working person, a person who solves problems every day of their life. These people have never done a day's work in their lives. The ones who are sitting in this parliament now, all they've ever been are political researchers with political degrees. That's why this country is fucked. Because people like you didn't stand as a candidate, a constitutionalist, which I'm going to get onto. 2 more minutes, people on YouTube, and I'm shutting down the YouTube links. Don't forget to go to Rumble, and you have got a full English show. There it is. Churchill and the Constitution Party. Wow. Which we're going to get onto now. So don't forget, if you want me to go to your stand in the park, anywhere in the country, England, it's not safe enough for me to go to Scotland yet, but don't worry, I will be up there shortly. We may even be standing up there at some stage. So that's the answer, right? So all come over to Rumble. I am now going to kick in there, and I am going to switch off and say goodnight to everyone on English Patriot. Good night, God bless. Don't forget, come over to Rumble. Bye. And the Daddy Dragon channel. There it is, 66 watching.